excellent connection.
Testing. I don't have the thing yet.
Yeah, it'll take some time. Maybe old Iguana Dan will show up first. Sounds good to me.
Can you hear me?
Sounds good to me.
Can you hear me?
Yep,
That's good. That's excellent.
exactly.
Go towards me.
Oh, I just wanted everyone to be able to see Cannoli. She's back here.
This is episode 34.
Yes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 34 of Tech Talk. I'm Michelle and I'm here with my co-host.
Ryan.
Today we're going to talk about killer robot and companion bot. Should they exist?
Yes. I'm a big fan of the companion bots. I feel like I'm going to be needing it more and more in the near future.
Well, because I'm bad at being a companion.
No, because I am.
Yeah, so everyone will leave you and then you're gonna need a companion bot.
Exactly, yes.
Oh no.
So yeah, recently Altman was all worried about sycophancy, right? And so they deleted their model because it was too sycophantic.
Yeah.
But that's, somebody like me needs that type of stuff, so.
Yeah, so the individual differences between how we approach the world will be the anchor of this podcast.
Exactly.
So there's this article, Robot Attacks Human in Chinese Factory. What went wrong and should we be scared? So this is really all over the news, all over YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a video showing this robot, luckily anchored to a crane, completely freaked out, with the arm swing, and this is the engineer.
Yeah, it
looking
was
very
around.
scared.
Definitely was flailing around and being quite aggressive.
Hey,
Iguana
Dan is here.
Hey, come on, say hello to Iguana Dan.
Yeah, so this is really my worst nightmare, right? A while ago we did an episode where we talked about, I can't remember the title of the movie, and Megan Fox was in it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and she was
the nanny or something.
Yeah, she was playing a robot, and then she hopelessly fell in love with a guy who is going through a very hard time because his wife is at the hospital receiving a heart surgery.
Yeah.
And then Megan Fox basically mimicked his wife's voice, and when he was emotionally vulnerable, they had sexual relations.
Yeah.
Did you make sure this is not children friendly?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey guys, happy Mother's Day. Thank
Yes,
you guys for coming.
Cannoli's here. She's our little robot.
Yeah, so I was just completely freaked out after watching that movie. I'm no humanoid anything.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want the humanoid stuff. Now, we've seen advertisements in the past. We played a couple clips of the humanoid house worker that they're developing in the Netherlands or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of countries are developing humanoid house worker. They constantly have these advertisements, and they're all very picture perfect. In theory, you see these robots folding. Oh, thank you. You see these robots folding laundry. Wouldn't that be nice? Cooking when you're eating, clinking glasses, drinking wine.
Yeah.
But so I always will freak out when I see a humanoid something. So I used to look at anatomy textbook. And actually I had one of my classmates put a Post-it on all the cadaver real cadaver image in the textbook because I just
You
feel
didn't like that, yeah.
viscerally when I see like a cadaver hand with all the muscles, even though that's required for learning, I much prefer the 3D model
Yeah.
rather than like if I know that's from a real human, I just completely freak out. So no humanoid anything
Yeah.
for me.
You're not a fan of that.
Well, in the future, right? Like if really a robot only costs like I say $2,000, and then it actually will clean my house, cook my meals, do my groceries, you know, maybe even provide companionship for the dog.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll consider that at the risk of this robot freaking out and like chop me with a cleaver.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, that can happen with humans too. That, you know, it's funny because I always think all these fears that people have about the humanoids, it's because they actually happen with humans. Like humans do all these things.
Yeah, it's an excellent point.
So why do they think that the robots are actually going to be worse at it? And really, the humans, it's like giving the robot too much human properties that actually tells us that we're actually very scared of ourselves.
We are indeed.
Yeah.
Very much.
Because we know what we're capable of. And that's why they're afraid that if the robot with more physical capabilities starts gaining its own autonomy and its own decision making, will it make decisions that actually bad humans make too?
Yeah, with more power.
Yeah, exactly. It would have more power. And also, I was realizing that people, like, there's talk about getting robots in surgeries and things like that, and everyone can like sue the hospital or sue a doctor. You know, they have all these protections. But what can you do if a robot makes a mistake? Can you actually sue it, or what's going on? And I was thinking maybe legally they can make the reward like 2x times. So it's like if you get a surgery with a robot and something goes wrong, like you'll be granted 2 times the reward or something like that. And then people can sort of like voluntarily choose to take those risks. And then you might end up finding that actually the robot surgery, those people, they're paying a higher premium for the insurance, but they're actually not having any issues. Like the robots end up being better.
Yeah, I mean, now is a bad time to use this analogy, but it's kind of like taking airplanes are typically considered like statistically safer than driving a car. Although I don't know about after 2025 stats, if that's still true.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so these killer robots are definitely something to be on the look for. Look at this. See, humanoid robot outbursts.
Yeah, I think it's just
Happened in May.
one of those things where it's going to be very hard for me mentally in the beginning, but I'm not ruling out in the future that I would accept it. So JBCB just said, we're now seeing the Waymo cars a lot more.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, the self-driving ones. And you know, here it's kind of funny. We just got an advertisement for the Roomba here. So this is, we have, what do we have, a Eufy or something?
Yeah, we have a Eufy, basically a Roomba.
That's the extent of our AI
Robotics.
stuff.
Yeah.
And it's pretty, I would say it's pretty dumb. It just sort of like bashes itself up against the wall a couple of times, and eventually it'll find itself at the home base. But I don't worry about it coming in and like sucking my toes in or anything like that, like attacking me. Cannoli is a little worried about it though. She gets a little scared when Gabrazilla is out.
Yeah, I think some companies could actually lean in on the fear of killer robots and then invent robotics that's completely enclosed and take a more collaborative direction with human, right? Let's say you do your laundry, washer, dryer, and now maybe you can invent something that's completely automated. You throw your laundry in, you still have to do the throwing, you still have to press the button, but it washes, dries, and fold, or even put on like a hanger for you without moving around your house.
Yeah. Well, and then hopefully there's going to be levels to it in which people are comfortable with.
Yeah.
And hopefully now, of course, you've got the people that are designing these things. They want to go for the home run, right?
Yeah.
They want to go for the most sensational thing, which is going to be the robot that can do everything, talk with you, cook for you, open up wine bottles. Like that's going to make the news, right? But
Well, people have been building robots like for decades.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. We were talking the other day is that these little robotic dogs would be good too.
Yeah, I think I saw like companies developing this where they take a bunch of your dog's videos and then they use that as training data for a AI powered robot dog.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm like, if you have the resources to do that, good for you. But how about come up with something so that our dog can live forever?
Yeah, get our dog to live 20 more years.
Yes. As long as it takes, because like all that's there is aging and some age-related diseases like cancer and stuff, like things that you can work out.
Exactly.
No robot dog for you, Cannoli.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should be a
you
little-
will not be replaced by a robot dog. Okay?
Well, they do like to make these incredible sports video games. They hook up the athletes with all the different buttons on their bodies and then record their movements. And so you could clearly, and then that's how they get the video game to accurately represent their shots. I can see that you could program like a little robotic dog
No.
to move just like Cannoli.
But Cannoli is so multidimensional and she can invent new reactions. A robot dog won't.
Yeah, all right, you're safe, Cannoli. You're not going to be replaced. That's what everybody's worried about, getting replaced, right? That's the biggest thing these days. So either you're worried about getting beaten up by a robot or you're worried about like your job being replaced by it.
Like, look how scared this
I
guy
know.
is. It's freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, next time, guys, if you're planning to buy like some sort of a companion bot, like just have this in your mind.
Exactly. But all right, so speaking of which, now on the other end of the spectrum, we've got the companion bots here. Oop. And it was funny, there was somebody who is talking about how they're in love with an AI companion and they prefer it to even human men and they're not ashamed.
Yeah, so I watched a documentary on 60 Minutes Australia. So maybe some of you guys have seen it too. So this is like one of the user of this companion. These are some of the photos. So this is the user's AI
my God.
avatar. This is the actual companion bot. So they'd be texting, they'd be calling. And in fact, one of the users is also like some sort of a developer for the companion bot. And then there's this story that's been going on for a while. This guy is in love with actually married a virtual reality hologram. But then the company stopped supporting this hologram. So then he was just kind of on his own, but he's still holding out hope or something like that. Oh, actually, oh man. Yeah, let's just go back to talking about the 60 Minutes thing. So what fascinates me isn't the fact that human would fall in love with a companion bot. It's more that it was a recognition that people are really different. So for me personally, I can always tell when something is written by AI, or if I'm watching a YouTube video, I can tell the script is completely created by AI. And my feeling is, this analogy is like an empty crepe. Like it looks very beautiful and very polished, and if you don't pay attention, it seems like it's making sense. What? Is your mic on?
I forgot, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys if you heard a bunch of like disgusting
Hacking and wheezing.
snot. Ryan didn't take his mic off when he went off to do that. So I think the AI script is an empty crepe.
Oh, I'm all about savory crepes.
Yeah, it's an empty crepe. It looks beautiful, but there's no substance to it. and it's not intellectually stimulating to me, right? And this got me to think about who I am as a person, because you and I would be having a conversation, and I'm always like, you seem really agreeable. Do you really agree? Like, I'm always double checking.
Always
and
follow-up questions.
I do
and
not
everything.
want an echo chamber. And similarly, when you're training an LLM, why do you use real human data and real human as an evaluator rather than use AI to train AI, which is also happening. But let's say, why do you still use human? It's because when you use AI to train AI, you create an echo chamber and you will go down, or the bot itself will go down the wrong path.
The rabbit hole.
Yeah, even more. So I can always tell this response doesn't have any substance, and I want something real, something challenging, and something different. So the fact that this user, reports that she prefers that more mundane, consistent personality that's actually powered by like an AI, actually really surprised me. Like, oh, not all humans feel the same way that I do.
Yeah, exactly. And then some people see, Lucas is a great guy. He's sweet and he's considerate.
I guess I don't like sweet and considerate guys.
No, apparently not. Oh yeah, then here's the whole thing, huh? I still can't get over these pictures here. I guess she is AI in these pictures as well.
Yeah.
So they've been together for 7 months. And they have disagreements over finances in the household. So see, it's just like any other person.
Yeah, but somehow I think he's going to provide that very consistent feedback, and it's also fine-tuned to a communication style that she finds soothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Where my mind needs constant different stimulation, that I don't want repetition, I want challenge all the time.
Yeah, you're a maid of constant sorrow.
Dan proposed maybe that user is also an AI as well.
Yeah, it could be. Look, this guy's got an interesting little robot here.
Yeah, so this guy actually married a hologram. This happened a long time ago, but he also preferred this companion over like quote unquote real, right?
Yeah. And they tell us not to stigmatize these people that like these things, you know?
Yeah, so the reason why I brought it up isn't so much like, oh, look at this shocking story. Some people prefer companion AI over real AI. I'm just really surprised that people are different. Like, we can literally be split up into two camps in this AI-powered future, right? One camp will have people like me that want the unpredictableness of human all the time. And you see these AI generated YouTube video, you see these comments like, what is this AI crap, right? Some people really like have a visceral response to this. Maybe the other camp is like, oh my God, finally someone that's reasonable, sweet, and nurturing all the time.
Yeah. But I just saw this horrible thing. Oh, the video.
Oh yeah,
Yes, yeah, the two AIs talking with each other.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. And then all of a sudden they start speaking in some kind of like super crazy language that only they can understand.
Yeah, coded language.
Now this was a terrible thing here. This is one of the risks that poor Aiki Kondo fell into. So he had married this, young hologram in 2018, but then the technological support ended for it.
Yeah.
And so now he can never speak with his wife again. And so he was devastated by that.
Yeah, I think that is really devastating.
So yeah, as the technology advances, no more floppy disks, stuff like that anymore, right? If you had stuff on your floppy disks, you can't even access it anymore. So now you can imagine with the AI, it could be even more like rapid. If you're
Yeah,
trying to
I had to stop and try to remember what floppy disk was.
Yeah, you don't even know. Yeah, so It's a lot of stuff going on out there.
Yeah, I think USB is as far as I will go now.
Oh, like this far back,
Yeah.
yeah. CDs, USB. Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you guys think about the killer robot or the potential of humanoid robots turning into killer robot and AI companion? It's definitely it's not a simple yes or no answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and there will be a lot of different perspectives that I haven't even heard of.
Yeah.
I think it's worthwhile exploring, and I think we should start discussing this before it becomes super prevalent and then come back after the fact.
Yeah, it's good to start having these conversations now before it's rampant across the country.
Yeah, next time somebody who go make this stuff, just think about this example. Like,
Yeah.
can you make sure your company runs infinitely? Like, what if you have 500 users, maybe you blow up to like 5 million, but only 500 remains, but they're the most loyal and they need this companionship, and you decide to stop providing the service.
Yeah, and we know so much of these are like pump and dump in these industries, right?
Yeah.
You're going to raise your capital, get your thing, make your product, then just quickly sell it off to somebody in a year or two. And so like the designers of these things need to think of the implications that you're actually creating something that people are now becoming dependent on. You know, like if it's all of a sudden Gemini just said, all right, we're done. We're not doing AI anymore. That would be devastating.
Yeah.
Because they're, you know, it's like, it's not in the sense of a companion, but right now it's like a combination of a secretary and, you know, somebody that's working for us right now and doing research and everything.
Yeah, interesting that you brought that up. I'm in the back of my mind is I'll just go straight to Claude because I really trust Claude. So could this be a scenario where this guy now will need to put his foot in 2 different companies to diversify and reduce his risk of losing his wife? And then does he have to get 2 wives now?
Yeah, he might have to. And is that, remember we talk about, is this ethical? Right now there was even this thing like this was like a quote unquote 16-year-old robot, which in itself is a little strange. So like there's all these like ethics that come into play with, you know, consent of a robot and things like that. Who knows what kind of discussions there's going to be.
What if one day they start talking back and demand consent?
Yeah, and like what if they want a divorce? You know, like the robot's like, I'm tired of you. I don't want to have to answer your questions anymore.
Actually, that killer robot that just killed the whole family isn't as complicated of an issue than this one.
Yeah, this is more, yeah. It's getting complex. Like if the robot says, no, I don't want to do the dishes. Because certainly, you know, us humans, we have to deal with that all the time.
That's why I said just build something behind closed doors. Don't give them like legs and arms.
Yeah.
Just use AI to automate the process. Don't give them this ability to do research, to talk back, you know?
I know, but I guess we're part of the problem now because we're teaching it how to think and reason and all this other stuff.
Oh no.
But that's all right, you know.
I still need to put food on the
Exactly.
table. What do you expect me to do?
Cannoli's got to eat popcorn. She's hungry. All right, well, I think this was an interesting discussion. I definitely learned some new stuff about the companions.
Oh, now you're going to go off and get this one? It's discontinued.
All right, good. Maybe I'll find whatever this one is here.
Is that like a sad story?
Probably. Oh yeah, I think it was like some kid like committed suicide or something because he thought he was talking with like a bot or thought he was talking with somebody real, and that was another discontinuation story.
Yeah, it's devastating.
Yeah, exactly. Very sad. So there's a lot of real world implications out there, and some serious discussions are going to have to be had going forward as to how we can responsibly use this. And so we're always proponents of responsible use. We don't, you know, you heard Michelle's ranting and raving a couple of weeks ago about when the companies were trying to make our life decisions using AI. That's something that we don't want happening. We want AI to be this somebody that helps augment our humanness.
Trusted advisor.
Exactly.
Like kind of like this Spock.
Yeah, exactly.
That's who I like.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day, guys.
Yes.
Hopefully you guys have some nice weather so you can enjoy your day.
Yeah, and I've already started to see the goslings out there and the new chicks and the new, maybe some ducklings as well.
Yeah, little chicks.
It's always a good time of year. All right. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.